The pre-loved market is a great source to find some luxury handbags that is typically below the retail price. You can find limited edition bags that have sold out by the brand. You can also find discontinued and vintage bags that are no longer available, but there is a dark side to the pre-loved market. I will reveal 5 things that you should do to protect yourself when purchasing pre-loved bags. Welcome to the Handbag Heaven. Today, we are going to be talking about purchasing luxury handbags on the pre-loved market. Purchasing pre-loved can be dangerous. I mean, look at the Chanel trial with what goes around comes around. One thing I've learned is that there are more fakes than we will ever know on the market. It's like an epidemic. So, how do we protect ourselves and get the best value when purchasing luxury bags? In this video, I am going to tell you guys about an experience that I had early on in my pre-loved journey. Now, that experience led to 5 lessons learned. So you want to keep watching to the end of this video. Okay, so let's get ready for a little story time. Now, I will try my best to keep it as brief as possible, but you might want to go ahead and just get comfortable. So let's go back to 2020. I needed an edgy bag in my collection, and I was looking at purchasing the Chanel boy bag. However, the price had increased yet again. It even increased on the pre-loved market. I decided to get the Valentino Rasta Spike bag. While that bag was less than the Chanel boy bag retail price, it was still pretty expensive considering that the brand really doesn't retain value according to the Clair report. So I decided to purchase from the pre-loved market. Now, I did want a specific colorway. I found 3 options on a reseller site. The reseller is VC, that's the initials. I decided to purchase the least expensive of the 3. However, my order was canceled. I don't know exactly why my order was canceled, but I do know that I asked the seller if the bag was authentic. I never got a response. However, I went ahead and purchased because I knew that I was paying to have the bag authenticated. So once I received my refund from the first purchase, I went ahead and purchased the next least expensive bag. Now, this bag actually was new with tags, and it was from a trusted seller. I did opt in for the authentication services, so the bag was shipped from the seller directly to VC to be authenticated. I watched the process of it going through the authentication, and I saw, like as you can see on screen, that the bag was confirmed to be authentic. I was so excited to receive the bag. When I opened it, I got everything that you see on screen. It was new. It had lambskin leather. I could not find any flaws. It came with the tags, as you can see in the picture. It came with the booklet as well as the dust bag. There were no red flags. But because I was new to Valentino, this was my very first Valentino bag, I was curious about their authentication code. So I started searching for it. Now, I could not find the authentication code anywhere. So I did a Google search on where to find the code for a Valentino rock stud bag. And I found this pic, as you can see on the screen here. So I searched in the back pocket like indicated in the picture, and I found no tag. So I started to get a little concerned. Next, I went online to the blogs, so I looked at the luxury handbag forums, and I found that there were some threads revealing that Valentino basically have codes on some bags and some they do not. And these were from people who actually purchased directly from the brand. So I was a little shocked at the inconsistency. So at this point, I wasn't sure if I even wanted the handbag anymore. But then a light bulb came on. I thought, wait a minute, I paid for authentication services. So I contacted the customer services at VC and I asked them, how did they determine the bag was authentic without the serial code? So they couldn't really answer that question, but they instructed me to return the bag for further review. So I packed it up, shipped it, returned it to them. I tracked the bag to their receiving, and then I saw that the bag had went back into the authentication process. Just a few days later, I received an email notice of refund. However, I never received an explanation. I never was told whether the bag was fake or real. Knowing what I know now, after seeing all of these court cases and the news on counterfeit bags, I have determined that the bag was fake. For me, there are no gray areas. There's no way to prove that the bag was real, so in my opinion, it is fake. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. From this experience, I have 5 lessons learned. Number 1, only purchase from reputable resellers. Because I use a reputable reseller platform, I was able to get my money back. I don't think that would have been the case if I did not. I'm thinking if I would have purchased directly from like the seller, then I may have had some issues getting my refund. Most reputable resellers have a clear-cut return policy. A lot of time they have buyer rights, protections for the buyers. They also provide like a customer service that have more of a faster response time. Also, you can find feedback from other customers that can let you know about the reseller's reputation. Number 2, don't blindly trust the reseller. So even if you are purchasing from a reputable reseller, I'm not saying to blindly trust them. Even if you are getting or using their authentication services, you still want to check behind them because first of all, they're humans. So they're bound to make mistakes. They also, like in this case with VC, they basically provide a platform where other sellers can use to sell their items. So now you have another layer and other opportunities for mistakes to be made. So you can't just blindly trust anyone, the reseller, even the brands at some point, because everybody makes mistakes. And with the amount of fakes that have flooded the market, there's bound to be mistakes made. Number 3, be familiar with the brand's authentication. So in this case, I was not familiar before purchasing the Valentino rock stud about their authentication and how they, place the codes in the handbags. So I had to go out and do a quick Google search, but it was real simple. I mean, everything I needed to know, I found through that Google search. So you want to do this before and not after you get into a situation. Please learn from my mistake. But honestly, if I was aware beforehand, I personally would have asked the seller if the bag included the authentication code before purchasing, and that would have definitely saved me a lot of time. Number 4 is to find a reputable authenticator. Now, this is something that I learned from this experience and other experiences. You definitely want to make sure that you have a third-party authenticator for a second opinion when you need one. So I started researching authenticators used by resellers like eBay and other companies. So I do that because if I use the same authenticator as a reseller, if I get in a situation where they're challenging me on whether something is real or authentic or fake, I can then dispute that with this reseller. Now, they would probably be more unlikely to challenge a authenticator that they have used to authenticate items. So that's why I do that. Now, I've never ran into a situation where I've been challenged. In every case, when I present all the facts, they normally immediately respond with a refund. But I have heard horror stories from other YouTubers where they have been challenged. Last but not least is don't buy pre-loved if you're not comfortable. Like, I am a big supporter of purchasing pre-loved. Like I said earlier in the video, there are many benefits, especially to the environment. But that doesn't negate the fact that you must purchase with caution. Let's keep in mind that selling and trafficking fakes, i.e. counterfeit goods, is against the law. At least it is in the U.S. According to the U.S. Customs and Border Protection, it is illegal to purchase counterfeit goods. Look, it's not worth the legal trouble because it could be costly, and we're talking about federal crime. It's a federal crime, okay? So if you find yourself in a situation where you were sold an illegal bag, number one, you want to notify the seller and cite the law that prohibits the sale and trafficking of counterfeit goods. Now, hopefully this deters the seller from advising you to break the law, but if they do try to advise you to break the law by asking you to relist the fake bag or even transport it by mailing it, then recite the law that prohibits the sale and trafficking of counterfeit goods and refuse to be coerced by them into breaking the law. In the past, whenever I've ran into this situation, just citing the law and letting them know upfront what the situation is, as well as I also have all the proof that shows the bag is not authentic, then I ask for a full refund. I have been successful in getting a full refund, not being advised to, traffic the bag by returning it back through the mail. You can also report the seller to the brand, as well as you can report it to the government. So I'll have a link to where you can report it. I think it's the Department of Justice that you will be reporting it to. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found the information useful. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to my channel for more content on luxury handbags, fashion, and beauty. Let's talk below in the comments. Let me know, what are your thoughts on pre-loved bags? How do you feel about buying pre-loved bags? Do you have any concerns? Let me know in the comments. Maybe I can help ease some of your concerns. As always, thank you for watching.